Hello students, it's Miss Jai here with another linking lesson. And today we're doing lesson 10, Eat Local, Eat Smart, okay? And basically what we're gonna be talking about today is locally grown foods and fruits and vegetables as well, and the different benefits to purchasing locally grown foods. So by the end of this lesson, you will know examples of foods that are actually grown here in Michigan, and hopefully you'll learn some encouraging reasons why it's important to buy locally grown foods, okay? We basically want to increase your knowledge and your awareness of how beneficial it is to purchase locally and to buy locally. So that way, hopefully you increase your consumption of locally grown fruits and vegetables, okay? And remember that our lessons are presented by the Detroit Healthy Youth Initiative Program and Wayne State University, okay? So let's get started. So I want to kind of ask you all a question, and I just want to kind of get your mind going, and I want you guys to think, have you ever looked at the packaging to see where food and drinks were made or produced? I don't know about you guys. I thought about it sometimes, but I mean, just something to think about. But let's think furthermore. What do you think are the top 10 foods produced in Michigan? Remember, each state has its own agricultural business or industry, and so each state is unique, but we want to know about our state and what we can find in our state and what foods are produced in our state. So I'm going to give you guys about 10. I'm sorry, I said 10. I'm going to give you guys about 60 seconds because 10 seconds isn't enough. I'm going to give you guys 60 seconds, and I just want you to jot down foods that you think are produced in Michigan. And then once we come back, we're actually going to go into all top 10 foods that are grown in Michigan, okay? So I'm going to give you guys 60 seconds. And like I said, just thinking about it, there's no right or wrong answer, but I just want you to jot down and think what you think are the top 10 foods produced in Michigan. Are you ready? And go. Okay, so I hope everybody jotted down their ideas. Okay, and so now let's see what are the top 10 foods produced here in Michigan. All right, so the first one is milk. Okay, let's talk about milk. Michigan's dairy industry actually contributes $15.7 billion to the state's economy. Okay, there are nearly about 1,500 dairy farms that spread over 10 counties in Michigan. Okay, the state actually ranks first in the nation for production of milk per cow and sixth in the nation for total milk production. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Okay, on to number 2, corn. Now, Michigan's field corn is one of the state's most abundant crops, okay, with more than 297 million bushels grown annually, okay? This industry contributes more than $1 billion to the state's economy. Wow. Field corn actually is a versatile grain that has many uses like livestock feed, industrial products, and biofuels like ethanol. Okay. And then also sweet corn, which is also grown. So you have field corn, which is grown here in Michigan, and we have sweet corn, which is grown here in Michigan as well. And sweet corn is the type of corn that we like to, that we actually can eat, right? That we actually eat. You either eat it on the cob fresh, or you can find it canned or in frozen foods. Okay. Number 3, is soybeans. Now, most Michigan soybeans are grown for use in animal feeds, but there are some soybeans that are used in Michigan soy foods and everyday household products like cleaners and lotions, candles, crayons, and even makeup. Number 4, we have cattle. Now, cattle, they're raised in 80 of 83 counties in Michigan. Okay, we understand that. So out of 83 counties, 80 of those counties raise cattle, okay, on about 12,000 farms. There are about 12,000 farms that raise cattle. And the cattle industry in Michigan actually supports 33% of our Michigan's demand for beef. Okay. Number 5, which is hogs or pork or pig. Michigan is actually the 13th largest pork producing state in the nation. Wow, Michigan, pat yourself on the back. Michigan is also home to more than 2,000 pig farms, raising more than 1.18 million hogs a year. There's a lot of pigs. Michigan's pork industry contributes actually $500 million to the state's economy annually. It's a lot of money. Y'all should get into the raising hogs industry. Next is number 6, which is apples. Apples actually are one of the largest and most valuable fruit crops in Michigan. They're in season from mid-August to mid-November. I love that season. That's fall. You know, we go to the apple cider mills and things like that. In addition, Michigan slices more apples than any other state for use in like pies and fresh cut slices, and they also process apples into applesauce, freshened, shelf-stable apple cider, and apple juices. All right, next is chicken eggs, number 7. Now, Michigan's eggs can be found at local diners, local and large food restaurant chains, grocery stores, and food service entities. Michigan eggs are produced basically by laying hens in 17 farms across the state, which means that there are about 15.4 million laying hens, okay, in Michigan today. So that means that up to date, there are about 15.4 million hens that are laying eggs right about now. That's a lot of, those are a lot of hens, a lot of chicken. These hens actually produce 4,548 million dozen eggs. Them is a lot of numbers. Let me come back. Okay, so these hens, the laying hens that are across these farms, they produce yearly. Now this is yearly, okay? 4,548 million dozen eggs per year, okay? Which means, and this means that the egg industry in Michigan actually contributes $655 million to the Michigan's economy annually. That is a lot of money just for some eggs. Okay. All right, number 8 is wheat. Now, Michigan is home to 500,000 acres of wheat in about 75 of Michigan's counties, okay? Wheat harvest is usually from July through September. So the wheat harvest is coming up next month, or coming up in July. But like I said, depending on the type, and however, you can find Michigan wheat products year-round in various wheat products. So the harvest is between July and September, but you can always find wheat products year-round in various wheat products, okay? Next, number 9 on our list is potatoes. Love potatoes. But Michigan grows both table potatoes and Michigan potatoes for processing, okay? Fresh Michigan potatoes are available from August to November, and nearly 1.82 billion pounds of potatoes are harvested annually in Michigan, generating about $182.4 million in sales. That is a lot of money, okay? So if you don't know what you're thinking about doing for the rest of your life, you could be thinking about being a potato farmer. Sounds like they make a lot of money to me. All right, and then the last produce on our list is sugar beets, okay? And Michigan is one of only 11 states where sugar beets are actually grown. More than 1.3 billion pounds of sugar is produced in Michigan each year. And Michigan has 900 sugar beet growers. Growers harvest, let me say this right. Michigan's 900 sugar beet growers harvest their crops on approximately 160,000 acres of land each year. Okay, so what I'm saying is that in Michigan, we have 900 sugar beet growers, okay? And that what they do is that during their harvest, they use about 160,000 acres of land to each year to harvest all of their sugar beets. That's pretty awesome, okay? And so it is important to understand that about 1/3 of the foods grown in Michigan are actually exported. And what that means is that the food that's grown here is either a good or a product that is sold elsewhere beyond our state. And as you can see before, what I talked about, a lot of our products that we produce are going out to other states. They're exported and sold in other states, okay? And so agriculture in Michigan is a $71 billion industry producing more than 300 commodities of farm grown products, which actually makes Michigan the second most diverse agricultural state behind California. Okay, so California is the #1 most diverse agricultural state. And then Michigan is #2. We're the second most diverse agricultural state. That's pretty cool, right? We live in a pretty cool state, right? Okay, like that's really awesome, like that we grow all these local, like these fruits and vegetables that we actually consume every single day. And so let's kind of dive a little bit more into this, right? Now, knowing that here in Michigan, we produce all these types of foods, let's kind of think about what are some actual benefits to actually eating and purchasing locally, okay? So I want you all to take another 60 seconds and just think about some possible benefits of, of locally grown foods and eating and purchasing locally grown foods, okay? And then after that, we'll go over it, all right? I'm gonna give you guys another 60 seconds. Are we ready? And like I said, just jot down brainstorm some ideas. Ready and go. All right, we are back. Okay, so before we left, I asked you all to kind of think about some possible benefits to eating and purchasing locally. And now we're actually going to take a closer look and see some different ways where they're beneficial. Okay, so okay, if we can go to the next slide. Okay, there we go. So one reason why locally grown foods are beneficial is that because it builds community, right? By purchasing locally, you're putting money back into the state. Think about it, if a household just spent $10 of their locally grown foods, that would keep more than $40 million in our local state and economy. And remember in the previous slides, remember when I talked about the other types of foods, the foods that are actually grown here, like how much money it contributes back into the state. Think about if we purchase locally, we could be adding 40 more dollars 40, I'm sorry, for not 40 more dollars, but 40 million more dollars into our local and state economy. Okay. Right. So another reason is that it supports families and communities. Think about it. Buying locally supports local farmers and their families, right? And their businesses. So it's just that simple. And plus, if you buy fruits and vegetables from local farmers markets, their prices are usually lower than the ones in the grocery store. I know for a fact there's a farmers market that I frequent. It's out in Warren, off Warren and Wyoming, if I'm not mistaken. Warren and Wyoming, and it's a fruit market right there off the corner. And every Wednesday they do half off. Produce. So the produce is already pretty cheap or pretty reasonable, and then they do it half off. So I'm getting all these fruits and vegetables and different produce for a steal. Okay, so remember, it supports families and their communities as well. Okay. All right, next reason is that it leaves a smaller carbon footprint. Okay, guys, the environment is so important. And when you buy locally, you require less food packaging. Okay, and what that does, that saves gas and transportation, number one, because we don't have to get it from wherever other state, because the food doesn't actually have to travel far. And then it saves energy and resources, which in turn basically supports a healthier environment. So that's pretty cool, right? Not only are we helping our pockets and our wallets, but we're helping the environment too. So that's pretty cool. And then last but not least, it just gives you a peace of mind, right? Just knowing where your food is grown when you buy locally, it's pretty awesome to know where your food is coming from. I don't know about you, but I love having that knowledge and that confidence that I know that my food came from somewhere where it was taken care of. There was no pesticides, there was no hormones injected. There was, it was all naturally grown. And then on top of that, it looks better and it tastes fresher. It's always going to look better and taste fresher. So those are just some things to kind of think about. And just another fun fact, just to want you all to think, is that Michigan actually ranks number 3 in the US for total number of farmers markets. And I think that's pretty awesome. So if we're ranked number 3 in the country for farmers markets, then I think we should, kind of support our farmers markets, okay? All right. So just to kind of sum up everything, just next time when you're in the grocery store, look at the carton to see where the milk or the eggs came from. Okay. Remember that you are helping the state and local economy every time you buy something produced near where you live. Okay. So yeah, and then I want to also encourage you to tell someone in your household who actually does, if you don't buy the groceries, but if tell someone in your household, your parents or your peers or your friends or your uncle, your grandma, or whoever's in your household that actually buys the food for the family, about how buying locally can actually help our Michigan economy, right? So not only does it help our Michigan economy, but it helps our pockets too, and it helps us overall with our health, okay? And so let them know that there are some farmers markets near you or near us, okay? We're gonna go over some that you can kind of share with your friends and family. Maybe you guys can visit one day. So the first is Eastern Market, and Eastern Market is a very popular market. The address is 2934 Russell Street, Detroit, Michigan, 48207. And you can call them. The phone number is up here as well as the website, and you can look them up and see when their times are, when they're open, when they're closed, different information like that, okay? Next we have is Wayne State University's Farmers Market, and they're located on the corner of Woodward and Warren in Detroit, Michigan, 48202, and that's in Wayne County. And here's their number and their website as well. And as I said before, if you want to find out information on where they're going to be, when they're going to pop up, and what they're going to have featured that month or for, that season and things like that, you can find all that information out on their website, or you can call, okay? And then the last one is Gratiot Central Market. The address is 1429 Gratiot Avenue, Detroit, Michigan, 48207. The phone number and website is also on here as well. This one is more of a meat market, I guess to say. They provide all the meats you could think of: chicken, beef, pork, lamb, duck, fish. They also have cheese and some other dairy products as well in this market. So it's a pretty huge market, not too far from Eastern Market. Actually, is literally like right over the bridge. And it's a really cool market where you can get all your, your meat needs or your produce needs. Okay, so that's something else to kind of think about. Maybe you guys can take a family trip. Who knows? Maybe say, hey, let's wake up on a Saturday morning and go to the market. And if you want to find out any information on specials and deals and who's being featured, as I said before, the phone number and the contact information is also on the slide. Okay. And so that kind of sums up everything. And now that we've discussed the importance of eating and purchasing locally grown foods, are you going to start shopping locally? I hope so. I hope so. That means I did my job if you do. And that kind of goes into our healthy homework. So this week's healthy homework, I just kind of want you guys to kind of check the packaging at the store when you go to the store or when you visit a farmer's market or fruit market to see where the fruit products are made or grown, okay? And if you're not going to the store these days, that's okay. You can also go online and kind of check and see where foods are coming from, okay? Are we good with that? All right, everybody. Well, that is lesson 10, Eat Local, Eat Smart. And I am Miss Jai, and look forward to bringing you another linking lesson. All right. Remember, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye, guys.